guys, welcome back to another vlog. We are currently in Qatar. I'm actually in our hotel room right now. It's a little messy because I'm trying to clean up some stuff before I leave. I'm actually at the end part of my trip. I still have 2 days left, but I've already been here for 5 days. I do have to quickly mention before we start that the power is currently not working. It's been out for like an hour, so if you guys see any lights flickering, it's them trying to figure out the power situation. Yeah, so long story short, if you guys haven't watched the other vlogs, I'm here with my boyfriend. He's been here for like a month or so already on a work trip, and I'm visiting him on his last week here. We're actually staying in a hotel that's not yet open to the public. So yeah, it's basically just us and then some like staff members staying here, which has been a really cool experience because we kind of just have the hotel to ourselves. But that also means obviously that they're still trying to like figure out some last minute things and stuff. So anyway, I'm in Qatar. I've been here for 5 days. It's been such an incredible experience. My first time in the Middle East, and I have so much to tell you guys. It's gonna be a little bit of a different video because I have like a ton of clips that I took. I just haven't really been vlogging while taking them. Most places are fine taking videos on a phone, but I've had like one instance where they told me to put my camera away. And ever since, I just haven't really been using my camera very much or like vlogging at all. I've just been taking videos on my phone. So I figured it would be fun to kind of take you guys through our last few days here, talk about some of the places that we went, and also just give you guys an opportunity to see some of the things that we saw. We've had so much like packed in 4 days time. It's really crazy. But yeah, again, it's been super cool. So I've made a little itinerary. I'm like out of breath. It's also very hot here, I have to say, and the air conditioning isn't working right now, but we're gonna make it through. I've made a little itinerary for you guys. I'm gonna leave that in the description box with like links to websites and travel websites if you guys are interested. And then I'm just gonna show you guys the videos in the overlay. So basically I got here on Saturday night. I had taken off in New York on Saturday at 1 in the morning, and then I landed here Saturday at 8:30 p.m. So I had a 12-hour flight plus 7 hours time difference, and then I finally made it. It was actually a really smooth flight, I'm not gonna lie. I want to say I slept like 5 hours, and so I pretty much only had the second part of the flight where I was awake, and I think I was just so excited, and the adrenaline was kind of just like keeping me going. So it was a really smooth flight. My boyfriend met me and picked me up from the airport, and then we came back here just to like get settled. And that night we actually went to this food truck place. It's actually called the Marina Food Arena, and it's in Lusail, which is like a neighborhood in Doha, which is like the main city of Qatar. And this was kind of the perfect thing to do on the night that you're like arriving in Qatar, because it's not anything fancy. You don't have to get dressed up, but it's still something fun to do when you don't necessarily want to go to bed right away. And obviously when I landed, even though it was evening time, for my body it was still daytime in New York, so I wasn't ready to go to bed yet. But yeah, this was really fun, and they actually have a couple of different ones throughout the city. So if you want to just grab a quick bite, or you want to have like multiple different food and drink options, this is kind of the perfect place to go. We just had I think we had like chicken shawarma and like a very typical Middle Eastern dessert. Sunday was my first full day, and it was also one of the days my boyfriend had the full day off because he's still working here. So he's actually at work right now while I'm filming and hanging out. But Sunday he had the whole day off, so we had like a full day planned. We started off with breakfast, which we've just been having at the hotel. It's been super nice. I have to say the food here has been incredible. Everything, like every meal we've had has been amazing. The quality has been like 10 out of 10. After breakfast, we went to the mall, which is actually across the street from the hotel. It is the largest mall I've ever seen in my life. It's called the Palace Vendome. It's basically just this beautiful mall with beautiful architecture, full of high-end luxury brands. They also have a grocery store though, and they have like a Zara and Sephora. They have a couple of European brands like Pull&Bear and Bershka. What else? Yeah, they just have everything, honestly. So we saw that. We spent like an hour there, I want to say, and then we went to this place called the Souk Waqif. A souk is a very traditional market, and so if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen my stories and everything. This video is going up a little bit later just because I kind of had to like stagger my videos, and I also wanted to enjoy my trip. But you guys will see this in the overlay, but it was truly one of the most special experiences ever. This is where you really get to experience the true culture. You get to see the architecture, and they have the tiny little streets that kind of just form a maze all together, and you see the local people with their shops, and they're selling spices, or they're selling little pots and like little trinkets and things like that. You also have amazing restaurants in there, which I'll get to because we went to one of them for dinner. Yeah, overall this was just the coolest experience ever because it just felt like you were in there with the local people. I think that's one of the most special things about traveling, is not, you know, the luxury, it's not the touristic buildings, it's really getting to see what these people are like and how their lives are, and kind of the things that make them unique. So this was at the top of my list for Qatar for sure. Okay, I realized that I forgot to mention one other place, so I'm gonna quickly insert it here. We also ended up driving to the Pearl, which is another area that you can visit or just live in. Actually, there's a lot of residential buildings there, but we visited this place called the Connaught Quarter. It's basically like a colorful Venice. They have these beautiful buildings, lots of bright different colors, and it's all surrounded by water. So great place to walk through. You can also get coffee or food. It's just nice to visit. Yeah, that was an amazing experience. After that, we went to Harrods Tea, actually. There's a lot of like influence from England and Europe, and there was even one night, I think it was 2 nights ago, we went for a little walk, and we came across like a little stand of Dutch food. It was like more of a dessert. In Holland we make these little pancakes, they're called poffertjes, and they had a stand that sold them. It was so funny. But anyway, we went to Harrods Tea. The one thing about Doha is that, or just Qatar in general and the Middle East, is that it's super hot here during the day. Every day it's been like over 35 degrees, sometimes 40 degrees it feels like. And so it's really hard to be outside for long periods of time, so we would just be outside for a little bit and then grab like an iced tea or a coffee, and then we would go outside for another 30 minutes to an hour, and then we would, you know, get another drink somewhere else. And that's also why it's super quiet in a lot of my videos, because really it gets more lively at night because that's when it cools down. So we went to Harrods Tea, which was really nice, and then that night we had dinner at a restaurant in the souk, which is called Parisa. It's actually a Persian restaurant. Food was incredible. The restaurant inside just had the most amazing decor, and yeah, I don't know, these restaurants are so special out here. It's really like worth seeing. Only thing that I had to adjust to, or I just have to like make a little change to, is the drinks. They're so sweet. If you don't ask to make it without sweetener, everything is going to be sweet. Your coffee, your tea, your drinks. They also don't serve alcohol here, so instead they have really nice mocktails at restaurants. So we've just been having lots of mocktails instead of cocktails, which has actually been really nice. But yeah, everything is super sweet. So, oh yeah, and then after the dinner we actually took a boat. And this is something you can do in a couple of different places. We've seen it like some of the nights. You'll see like all these boats lined up. Some of them are made out of wood, some of them have colorful decorations, some of them are playing loud music, and you can pay these local people to take you across the water. And we did that after dinner, so that was very fun. Monday, I didn't really do anything too crazy during the day. My boyfriend was working, so I kind of just entertained myself. Spent a few hours at the mall. I got lunch by myself, which was super nice. And then that night we had dinner at the National Museum of Qatar. So we didn't actually go inside the museum. We just had dinner at the restaurant on top. But we did get to walk around and kind of check out the architecture and the landscape around the museum, and it was so stunning. again, another one of those epic buildings that you just don't get to see very often. So that's definitely something I would have added to the list, is to actually go inside the museum and see the exhibits, but we just didn't have time. The restaurant though was amazing. We went to this restaurant called Juan. From what I remember, it's Qatari cuisine by a French chef. I actually didn't get any footage of our food this night because we were just kind of enjoying the experience. But I'm glad that I didn't, because I think it would have taken away from anybody who wants to actually go and check it out. So you can order a la carte, but we did the fixed menu, which was so worth doing, especially if you're going as a couple. It's a very fun experience. The service is incredible. The way that they plate things and just bring things out is an experience in itself. I'm just looking at the menu now, and yeah, it's just a great variety of food, honestly. And they also do like a mocktail pairing, so they give you drinks to go with the courses. Tuesday was a big day for us because we had a desert trip planned. We'd been talking about this for weeks because my boyfriend actually did this once before in Dubai, and he said this was amazing. This is honestly something that I really wanted to do as well. The dunes of Qatar are different than most because usually the dunes are really just in a sandy area. There's no water nearby, but the dunes of Qatar are actually next to the water, so you get the best of both worlds basically. Okay, battery died. I have to hurry this up because the sun is gonna set soon. 2 p.m. driver picks us up from the hotel. We drive, I want to say it was about an hour south of Doha, which is where the dunes start. But we had a little pit stop beforehand because they have this kind of camel sanctuary set up where you can see the camels, you can actually go on the camels, and we also stopped to have some tea there. Just kind of like ease yourself in for what's about to happen. This is also where the drivers take some air out of their tires because you can't drive on the dunes with hard tires. You're gonna get stuck, which I didn't know, but now I do know. And this was kind of just when it all started. We got back into the car and then our driver starts taking us through the dunes, and we ended up having a driver who was very confident in his driving abilities, and he just really took us for a spin. Like, you'll be able to see hopefully in some of the videos what it was like, but it was just so beautiful and so fun and like incredible all at the same time. I highly recommend doing something like this if you do visit Qatar or the Middle East. I'm pretty sure they offer it everywhere. So we're driving around. I want to say we drove around for about an hour and a half, and we got out of the car. Our driver has a sandboard with him, and he's like, you guys can like sandboard, and he goes and like waxes the board for us, gets ready to go. My boyfriend goes first because he's done it before and he does a great job. And then it's my turn to go. I've skied, but I've never snowboarded, so the driver suggested that I go and sit down before I try standing up. So everything went well until we hit this like second little part where I thought that we were gonna stop because that's where my boyfriend got off. And as I was trying to stop, I like fell over and I ended up falling completely forward into the sand. I wasn't injured or anything, but I had a mouthful of sand. My face was covered in sand. Everything was just full of sand by the end of that. And so that was kind of funny. Oh. We might have power, guys. Where was I? Oh yeah, the sandboarding. How could I forget? So we did that, and then after I fell into the sand, I decided that that was enough for me. So we got back into the car, and then because we decided to do the 8-hour tour, they actually took us to sort of like a resort camp by the sea, and we were allowed to rest there for a few hours. They had these like nice little cabanas set up for us. They had juices, and we kind of just hung out and chatted for a few hours, and then we had dinner, and then later that night we drove back to the city. So yeah, that was an incredible day. Wednesday I also had the day to myself, so I actually went to a different resort like 15 minutes away from here. And I just chilled at the pool there. Like I mentioned earlier, because there's no guests here yet, they don't have like lifeguards at the pool or anybody at the beach really. So I haven't been able to use the pool yet, but I think tomorrow and Saturday I'm going to be able to go down and use it, and also use the spa, which is so nice. So yeah, Wednesday I spent the day at this resort. It was called the Al Masila. It's another one of those incredible properties, super well organized. I called them ahead of time to see if I could get a day pass, and I basically just went to the front desk and paid for it, and then I could do whatever I wanted to. So I just chilled by the pool. They have a ton of food options there, drinks. They have like a pool bar situation. They have like multiple pools and stuff, cabanas. I didn't take a lot of video footage there though, because I don't think they actually allowed you to, so yeah. I mean, normally if you were to come here, you'd be able to just use the pool at your resort if that's where you would stay, but because of the situation, it was just nice to spend the day by the water and not be super hot all day. I didn't film dinner that night because we were actually eating with some of my boyfriend's colleagues, but the food was amazing. We had dinner at Sushi Samba, which I've actually never been to before, but I know that they have different locations around the world, so it was amazing. So yeah, no footage from dinner, but we did go somewhere after dinner because we kind of ended dinner early, and like I mentioned, it's just so hot to explore things during the day, so we kind of wanted to go to this place at night when it was a little cooler. We went to this place called the Qatar. I don't know, it's more of like a square, honestly, where you just meet people and you have coffee, and it's like just very beautiful open concept space. They had a mosque which we walked through. They had a beautiful mural symbolizing the World Cup, which is going to happen here in November. I'm just going through some of the videos that I took last night. They also have this really beautiful amphitheater, and yeah, again, it was just one of those beautiful local places to get to experience. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that we did. I think we pretty much covered everything that's worth seeing. I'm sure there are a ton of more amazing restaurants to go to, and obviously we didn't get to visit the museum, but I think we covered a lot of ground for 4 days. The next 2 days I'm pretty much just gonna enjoy the rest of my time here before I go back home. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.